All right, everybody, ready to dive in? We're talking crypto today.
Buckle up.
Yeah,
What's
seriously.
a wild ride out there?
You know it. Especially, like, you've been reading about Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the big players, and they have been all over the place. And we're going to try to, figure out why, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes back to, well, you said it, those articles you shared, lots of chatter about inflation data, how that's shaking things up.
It's true. I mean, just this past week, that US Consumer Price Index, the CPI, it's like the inflation tracker, right?
Right, thermometer for the economy.
Exactly. And
It is. Especially because earlier that same day, Bitcoin was riding high over $61,000 it hit.
but that CPI news, it was like a reality check for sure.
It's that risk factor.
Yeah.
Inflation throws uncertainty into the mix, and suddenly safer bets start looking more appealing.
Totally. Like the good old US dollar.
Exactly. Suddenly seems a whole lot cozier.
So Bitcoin takes a little tumble, but then there's the Bitcoin ETFs. Everyone's been talking about them. And they had a really interesting week.
They did, didn't they? On the one hand, you've got these massive inflows.
Huge amounts of money pouring in.
Over $235 million, just like that, in a single day.
It's mind-blowing. And we're talking big names, too. Like Fidelity, their Bitcoin fund raked in a cool $103.7 million.
Not to be outdone, BlackRock, their iShares Bitcoin Trust, that pulled in a hefty $97.9 million. But here's the thing.
Here's where it gets kind of weird, right?
Right. The very next day, crickets. Like nothing.
Almost eerie how quiet it got.
You almost never see that kind of swing in sentiment.
It really shows you, though, how are you supposed to make sense of this? Investors are clearly interested in Bitcoin's potential.
Long game, big potential, everyone knows that.
But then these economic tremors hit, and everyone gets a little jumpy.
It's this balancing act, do you ride the wave or jump ship? And right now, no one knows the right answer.
Speaking of tough decisions, we got to talk about Ethereum. Specifically, Ethereum ETFs.
Ah, yes. Different story over there.
Totally different vibe. Things were quiet, and I mean really quiet. No flows for, get this, the second time in 1 week.
Which, if you're keeping score at home, is unusual to say the least.
Yeah, not exactly inspiring confidence. And in fact, since those Ethereum ETFs launched back in July, they've actually seen net outflows $562 million walking out the door.
So the question becomes, are investors getting cold feet about Ethereum? Or is this just a temporary blip?
It's $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they see Bitcoin as the safer bet in uncertain times. It's like that old saying, when in doubt, go with what you know.
Could be. Or maybe it has something to do with Ethereum's technical upgrades recently. Those always come with a learning curve, and sometimes investors get a little skittish.
It's true. New tech can be a little scary. But one thing's for sure, you can't talk about market uncertainty without talking about the big kahuna, the Federal Reserve.
Ah, yes, the Fed. They have everyone on edge right now, waiting for their next move.
It's like they're holding everyone's financial future in their hands.
In a way, they kind of are, and with inflation being such a pain, the chances of an interest rate hike are going up.
And nobody likes an interest rate hike.
Nope. Uncertainty makes markets nervous, and the Fed is practically synonymous with uncertainty these days.
So true. And speaking of uncertainty, let's talk about the CME FedWatch tool for a second. Have you seen what it's predicting?
Oh, I'm glued to it, like a hawk.
Right. Right now, it's saying there's an 85% chance of a 0.25% rate cut at their next meeting on November 7th.
Which, might I add, is up from 65% just a week ago. Talk about volatility.
So what's the takeaway for all of us just trying to make sense of this crazy crypto roller coaster ride?
Pay attention to the economic data, my friend. Keep an eye on those jobless claims, retail sales, all of it. That's going to give you the clearest picture of where things might be heading.
It's like following the breadcrumbs, right?
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if crypto continues to mirror the traditional markets or if it blazes its own trail. One thing's for sure, this ride is far from over.
And that's the truth. Thanks for breaking it down for us today. I know I learned a lot. Until next time, everyone, stay informed and stay curious.